I have to put in All-Star picks by Saturday House. It's surprisingly non-controversial for the most part. I'm going to throw some questions.
Okay.
So,
okay.
You look at, the starters, which the fans have input. Who the hell knows how it's going to play out? But Embiid, Durant, Giannis in the East. And then the guards I've seen go different ways. I'm going to vote for Trey and DeRozan. Some other people would push for LaVine or Harden there, but Trey's offensive season. DeRozan's a forward. I'm, cheating a little bit, but I just feel like those have been the best five guys. Embiid, Durant, Giannis, Trey, DeRozan. Durant's not playing because he's hurt. But does that five sound right for you, or would you throw in Harden or LaVine?
I don't have any quibble. Who's going to replace Durant in the game? We don't care about that for voting purposes?
We don't. But that
Okay.
does come into
All
play
right.
because my next seven, LaVine, Van Vliet, Butler, Harden, Garland, Jared Allen, Tatum. I have to have two Cavs. I love that team. I have to reward them. So LaMelo was on the outs for me. And it basically came down to Van Vliet, Harden, Garland, and LaMelo for three spots. Tatum makes it just because the forward pool is so weak this year. LaMelo I have as 13th, but he gets in because KD's not playing. And this is like my most important thing with the All-Star game this year is LaMelo has to be in the game. That should be our number one priority, right?
It's a really, really important addition to the mix because of the kind of player that he's revealed himself to be. He has so much swag, so much flair. He deserves it. Charlotte is playing very well, and they've continued to be above water, even with, Hayward, the typical Hayward in the lineup, not in the lineup. I guess, I have to for the starting five thing, just give a real quick shout out to LaVine.
Yeah.
I fear him. DeRozan, I think he's earned it. I love that, he's getting all this shine, and we're talking about MVP, and he'll get some votes, and that's cool. Good for DeMar to get to this level, to, constantly working his ass off to reinvent his game to get better. I don't fear DeMar DeRozan. I fear Zach LaVine.
Interesting. Yeah, they're 1A, 1B. I just DeRozan because of what he brought to that team and some of the end of the game shots and just how ridiculously, meticulously efficient he's been in the fourth quarters. But yeah, if you're going to get technical, if you're going to get technical and go, wait, you can't have DeRozan because you already have three forward centers on the team, so you got to have two guards. I'm fine with putting LaVine there. The LaMelo thing, we always talk about how the All-Star game ebbs and flows depending on how many fun point guard type people there are, right? And we've had years where once Steve Nash retired, where it was like, oh my God, and Jason Kidd was another one that we lost. And then it was like, oh my God, there's so much pressure on Chris Paul now. He's the only one who knows how to run an All-Star game. LaMelo is going to be just really important for the next 12, 15 years. By the way, not that the All-Star game really matters, but it can be an awesome, fun, upside viewing experience if the point guards are there.
And on top of that, we do continue to use it as a marker for a player's, achievement. As we look back at the top 75 rankings, of this year with the anniversary, number of times on an All-Star team do weigh in a little bit.
Yeah, and also who's out there with 7 minutes left a lot of times is a nice reflection on who the best 8 to 12 guys are in the league. Because for the most part, Dame was out there for a couple years and now he's out. But you think like you go to the West is tougher because Jokic and LeBron and I think Curry, just from, even though he tailed off a little bit, I still think those three are going to start. But then do you just go with three guards? Because the best five guys in the West this year have been Jokic, LeBron, Curry, Morant, and CP3. And that's who I'm going to vote for. It's bending the rules a little bit because you're basically doing the three-guard lineup. You could say Curry can play off the ball, whatever. But that's my next question for you. Are you okay with me bending the lineup?
Of course. Yes.
Okay.
We're in positionless NBA. That's the era that we're in.
Okay, because the if you weren't okay with it, now we have to have the Karl Anthony Towns conversation. I had him as my bubble starter guy because Luka missed too many games and he needs to be penalized for coming in too heavy. Towns, somebody that you and I have been incredibly frustrated with over the years. I really like what I've seen this year from him.
Critical of.
Yeah.
We have long wondered whether his inconsistency is attributable to franchise instability, underwhelming coaches,
weird teammates.
Weird mix. Sure. All of it.
Yeah. So are you buying Town stock? Like, where are you? Because I like them.
Sure. I'm buying Town stock. Me too. I'm rooting for them to make the playoffs. I think the West is more interesting if Minnesota is in the playoff mix.
Well, it would be fun to have Edwards in the playoffs. My backups would be Towns. It's weird. The West is like very easy to figure out. The backups would be Towns, Luka, Mitchell, Draymond, Booker, Gobert. And then I have Murray as the 12th guy. I think he's been one of the 12 best guys I saw in the West. I've seen a couple. There's other lists I've seen out there where like maybe Edwards gets in there. There's some Andrew Wiggins buzz. Paul George can't be penalized because he missed too many games. He's got to be on there. I get it, but I think Murray's been really good. I mean, to the point that it's inconceivable now that they would flip him in a Ben Simmons trade. I think he is a better asset, and he might actually be more of a winning player than Simmons is. So that's my 12, and I don't really think there's an argument. What do you think?
It's not. I think you're right. I would love to figure out a way to get Edwards in, but I don't think it should come at the expense of Murray.
Well, somebody will get injured.
Games too.
Yeah, the actual All-Star game isn't for 4 or 5 weeks, so I'm sure out of those 12 guys, somebody gets injured. So, just very small arguments. Jared Allen or Mobley. I went with Allen because I think he's been more consistent. I just absolutely love Mobley, but he's also, you can make a case, Allen's the second best center in the East, unless you want to call Giannis a center, then he's third. But either way, it feels right for me to pick him over Mobley. But, I freaking love Mobley. It was hard to leave him off. And I'm hoping if there's one more injury, I think he's the next bubble guy after LaMelo.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. So Allen or Mobley, you'd go Allen, seems like.
You have Mobley ahead of Bridges?
Yeah, I have for bubble guys, Mobley, Jalen, Bridges, Holiday, Sabonis. And then it dips off to that Bradley Beal, Middleton hero group. But yeah, I just value the winning stuff, right? And the Cavs aren't that far away now from having the best record in the East. And it's because of Mobley and Garland and Allen over anything else. So, and the fact that Mobley defensively can guard anybody allows them to play these weird big lineups that nobody knows what to do with. They're really hard to play. It's just because of what he can do.
He's going to make all rookie first team. He, will remain in the conversation for rookie of the year if he can remain healthy. And I think this will
be the last year he's not in the All-Star game. So Evan Mobley, if you're listening, this is your last year.
I agree.